The Essential, coming up on this week's show.
We have the latest on the union finance discrepancy.
Select Your Building project aims to improve the union.
And two of the exec tell us about their roles.
We have more on the Jimmy Savile inquiry.
The new committee for Halls exec has been announced.
The new library is going to open in 2014.
And the Lady Boys of Bangkok are back in Leeds after their popularity from last year.
We also have the latest technology news.
And this week's weather and essential question.
Hannah and Kerry have been down to look further into the union's financial discrepancies and will be speaking to Anthony Hadley.
A discrepancy, that's a lack of compatibility between two or more facts, in this case monetary values, was found this summer within the student union accounts. In July, Leeds University Union launched its own investigation into the discrepancy to determine what exactly had taken place within the union's accounts. An email was sent out on the 4th of October to all Leeds University students by one of the student executives, Communication Internal Affairs Officer Anthony Hadley. He revealed that at that moment in time there was still no clear conclusion to the case and that the matter had been handed over to the police. He described this as being a positive step towards resolving what had actually occurred within the student union accounts. We've been asking the current students at Leeds University what their thoughts are on the financial discrepancy.
I think it should be publicised more so students can find out more about it and give their opinions on the matter.
I'm really shocked because the union have been so reliable and I hope this doesn't affect the union.
We think it's an absolute disgrace and we think they should be held accountable.
I don't really know much about it.
I think it's pretty bad, to be honest, as well as the fact that we're paying £9,000 a year and we're the first year to do that there is a discrepancy because it is a lot of money that we're paying and we kind of deserve to have the best facilities as possible.
It's a professional institute, so there shouldn't really be any discrepancies whatsoever, especially, like you said, when we're paying £9,000 to come here.
We are here with Anthony today to determine what stage the investigation's at now.
Yeah, so at the end of the year, when we look at our accounts, as usual, as we do every year, leading to the end of year accounts being published, which will happen soon, we noticed there was a discrepancy, which basically means that there was less money than we thought there would be in the accounts at the end of the year. It's difficult to say because we're still at an early stage of their involvement, but I think it's a real positive that they are involved. And I think it can only be, a bonus for us to have them on board and be a part of the investigation. There's no evidence as yet to suggest that there is any specific individual responsible for the discrepancy, so I'd just be speculating at this stage, and I don't think that would be any use whatsoever while there's a police investigation going on. Again, it's difficult to say because the investigation is ongoing and there's legalities that surround that. But essentially, I really hope so. I really hope that that's the case. And I'm really eager to just put the matter to bed and get it sorted out. No, absolutely not. No way. The union's got a fantastic team of staff who are working really hard. That through all the financial adjustments necessary, there's no service impact whatsoever. Yeah. And that's also not to say that the financial controls that we had in place were poor or anything like that. We have auditors, we have KPMG as our auditors, and they come in every year to do the accounts. And this year is no different. And as a result of what happened, we put even more financial controls in place to basically make it even more watertight to ensure that this can't happen again.
Today I shall be speaking with Anthony and asking him what his current activities are, including his contribution to the support within the union.
I knew that I could do that job for students, and I think I had the belief in the students here and that I loved Leeds and I loved the union enough to be able to bring something, something to the role which I didn't think had been there in the past. Otherwise I wouldn't have gone for it. And as Union Affairs Officer is 3 parts. I've got finance, democracy and governance as my 3 main areas. But that's quite a broad ranging kind of way of working, I guess, in terms of the finance. So I look at our bars, I look at our shops. For example, with the Director of Commercial Services, we look at whether our offers are good enough, we look at our pricing strategy and whether students are getting the best value for money. Yeah, absolutely. There's a whole broad range of ways they can influence that. It's something that we're working on. I don't think we've got it perfect yet. But the main way they could do it is through the Better Union Forum, where they could say, I think the union should do X, Y, Z, and if it's passed by the student body, then that becomes policy and we have to implement it.
An online newspaper called The Tab reported personal information about Anthony, stating that he was too busy with his binders full of women and his banter trophies to be answering his phone for questioning. I asked him how he felt about this.
I guess that it's something to be expected. I think Twitter is a public place, and if I'm going to tweet something, I obviously have to expect that that is used in a public domain, as with anyone. And their article was very interesting about my response when I tweeted them back, and they seemed to extract all kinds of information without actually quoting any of the tweets that I used directly to them. And they used my profile picture off Twitter. They confused the varsity trophy with something else, which I found quite strange. So it's just one of those things, and like I say, I'm very relaxed about it. And
we hope that the investigation will soon reach its conclusion without any detrimental effect on the university.
Next, although most students are happy with their students' union, the Slate Your Building project is aiming to improve it, Marina reports.
According to the National Student Survey, over 90% of students are happy with the union as it is. But the LEU is still looking to improve, and so have launched the campaign Slate Your Building to find out what you think is bad about the union and how you want to improve it. Whether it be about the building itself, particular parts that perhaps are underutilised, something new you'd like to be introduced, or an improvement to your club or society, the LEU want to know. So for the next few weeks, students will have the opportunity to slate their building and offer any suggestions, any new ideas or anything that you feel is missing. Perhaps there's a space you enjoy, but you wish you could improve. Maybe the size, shape or colour? Something practical you wish there was more of? Or would you just like to point out a problem? You don't have to provide a solution, just point out the issues. There are 2 ways in which you can express your views. Firstly, you can fill out a survey online and with a chance of winning £100 to spend at Gear, the official shop for the Leeds University merchandise. And secondly, look out for the Slate spots where you can tweet your ideas about how you'd like to improve your union.
Well, it could maybe be a bit more colourful. And then the other day there was like a market, like little stalls going on, and they look quite good. So maybe something like that a bit more often.
Thank you very much.
Well, having just been down here probably for like the first time in a long time, I've found stuff that I didn't even know existed. So maybe bring more attention to what is actually down here. And it is kind of like, I've just in the men's toilet as well, it's kind of grimy. So maybe improve them a bit as well.
Anything you'd like to add?
I got the same view really, yeah.
Lovely, thanks.
I think it's pretty good.
Lovely, thanks. So make sure you enter the Slate Your Building campaign for your chance to win £100 at Gear.
Also spoke to more of the student exec to find out more about their roles.
Okay, well, the University of Leeds went down 9 places, Times Higher Education world rankings, so from 133 to 142. There are at least 10,000 higher education institutions in the world which go to those rankings, so a shift of 9 places up or down isn't really an issue. It's sort of caught up in the noise of rankings, but there's always more to be done. Whilst I don't know it's a big issue of the change of place, we can always keep working together with the university and the Union University in partnership, and making sure that student experience keeps getting better, regardless of league tables. Something that I'm working on next term is a project to make education more widely available to the wider student body. So, for example, say you've got a lecturer who gives a really inspiring lecture, but it's only to your course. I'm trying to get students to nominate those lectures to get brought out so that other students from other areas you wouldn't normally see them can see it, and also the community as well, to bring a more sort of a public feel to campus. I'm really enjoying it. It's an absolute pleasure to work with the other exec. The union's just a great place to work, and I feel like I'm making positive change for the university. The best parts have been involved with the conversations that do make a change for students, and seeing the change actually happen, and seeing the benefits for students. For the worst part, that's kind of a tough question. There are some tough meetings, and there are some long days, which is obviously, it is tough, but I honestly don't mind it, and it is worth it for the job. Well, I guess thanks very much for voting me in, and I hope that you find my work is doing the best by you.
All right.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
I'm Ed. I'm Activities Officer. So my job is all co-curriculi in Leeds and beyond Leeds sometimes, and that kind of entails everything from clubs and societies, so I have it LEU, to employability and how we make the people in clubs and societies and beyond that look more employable. And I also get involved with a few other things at an exec level, including halls and schools and how we have our presences in both these places. So I was a medical student for 3 years. The last year, in my second year actually, I was involved in a number of different societies, had a number of different committee positions. In my third year, I was president of MedSoc, really enjoyed that. Towards around December time, I'd always thought about running for the exec, and I decided actually no, I didn't want to do it. And then the email came out saying if you know someone or you want to nominate someone else, and I thought actually no, I'd really like to do it. So I went for it, and I put my name down, and I was still a bit like, oh, do I want to do it, do I not want to do it? But I started to get nominations, and some of the nominations just made me think, actually no, I really want to do this. There's people who think I'll be really good at it, so I went for it, and just I'm really enjoying it at the moment. Yeah. So I've got 3 main objectives. One is about the future of clubs and societies, how we make clubs and societies self-sustainable through alumni networks, through sponsorship, how we make all clubs and societies have a group strategy, and then beyond that, I'm changing the policy on sponsorship and advertising, and also looking forward, just as in making sure that all groups have this legacy idea, and that they look forward to not just their year, but also think about how they can make themselves have a legacy beyond their year. My second one is about clubs and societies in the community, and it's about the idea of establishing outreach projects. This is a really good way for clubs and societies to make their clubs and societies actually more credible, also make them look more attractive to the community, and it also makes the individuals in society look more employable, which is also ingrained in my second objective. It's all about employability, and how we make sure that the graduates coming out of Leeds University are the most employable in the country. And my third one is about participation engagement, and how we break down barriers to participation engagement, especially in student activities, but across the whole union. In the Freshers Week, it was one of my big weeks. I was just trying to be everywhere, absolutely knacking myself, but did a load of school talks, a load of halls talks, got around, and I was really involved in the hall elections, and making sure that we're getting really good candidates running for halls elections, making sure we got a really good voter turnout, which we did really well. And then I trained up all the halls exec. As part of that, all the exec were actually 2 weekends ago. Also, another thing is Black History Month. I've been really involved with. So getting loads of different clubs and societies involved in Black History Month, running an integrated programme of events across the whole month, working really closely with Charlie on that. And then obviously we had Varsity, so that was pretty awesome. So I was really involved in the run up to Varsity, how we make the event as good as possible this year, and we had a marketing strategy around it, and we sold so many tickets. We had 12,000 people at the stadium. It's incredible. One of my favourite days ever. Now we're just trying to review how we can make it even better next year. We're trying to work really closely with the teams as well to make sure all their club strategies are really, really going well, so that next year it's not going to be a draw anymore. It's going to be us coming back and smashing the bet. I'd say have a think about your networks. I think I never really understood how well connected I was and how many different clubs and societies and stuff like that I was involved in and how they could change it for me. But think about where you've come from, think about whether you think you can go for it, and then if you really want to do it, just go for it and run for it. Come and chat to anyone in the exec office. The more people who run at the end of the day, the better the competition and the better it will be a contest. So if you're interested in doing it, come and chat to any exec, come and chat to CDS, and we can talk you through how we got there.
Leeds-born Jimmy Savile's reputation was recently tarnished by an accusation of sexual assault whilst he was working for the BBC. Sophie went into Leeds to talk to the public and find out what they think.
For decades, Jimmy Savile was a highly respected TV personality and enthusiastic charity worker. However, as the anniversary of his death looms upon us, it is accompanied by several allegations of sexual assault, which has subsequently shocked the nation.
The Leeds-born entertainer is best known for presenting the BBC's original Top of the Pops in the 1960s and hosting the popular children's show Jim Will Fix It throughout the 70s. However, earlier this month, ITV aired a documentary, The Other Side of Jimmy Savile, receiving 1.9 million views. It raised questions about Savile's relationships with young girls and showed interviews with women who claimed to have been abused by him.
Currently pursuing 120 separate counts of sexual abuse from dates as early as 1959. There have been 8 recorded incidences, including 2 rapes.
Saw the emergence of further claims, this time suggesting that Savile abused patients in hospitals where he was associated with for charity work, including Leeds Infirmary and Stoke Mandeville Hospital. A spokesman for Leeds Teaching Hospitals NHS Trust said, "We are shocked by the nature and extent of the very serious allegations which continue to be made against Jimmy Savile. We've already made it clear we do not have any record of complaints about Jimmy Savile's behaviour made during the time he was a volunteer and charity supporter at Leeds General Infirmary or at any of our other hospitals. Since then, we are aware that there have been allegations about incidents said to have taken place at the hospital, which clearly are of great concern to us. This whole matter needs to be looked into fully, and we will give every cooperation to the police." There are still ongoing calls from the public for the removal of Sir Jimmy's knighthood after a campaign launched by The Sun. The Prime Minister suggested that removal might be an option, but the Cabinet Office has since revealed that the honour ceases after death. We asked the people of Leeds for their views.
I think he should have his knighthood taken away. I think he's dead, so he can't really defend himself, but if they are true, then yeah, he should. I feel like some of the cases might be a bit false to get money out of him.
The BBC have done enough about the case?
Well, they should have done more at the time because there were rumours and they had a meeting with him, but they just accepted his word and they should have looked into it more.
You think Jimmy Savile's knighthood should be taken away?
Oh, most definitely, yes.
The claims about Savile have become a key talking point and raises questions about the BBC and their efforts at the time. Give us your views. Tweet us at Leeds Student TV.
Next, the new committee for Hall's exec has been announced. Emily went down to find out more.
This week saw the final stages of the Hall exec vote come to a close and the winning teams be elected and move into their new positions of power. After a tense battle between the candidates, the winners were finally chosen and are now ready to fit their selected role. The Hall exec are a team of 7 people, each with their own area of responsibility, who will represent each of the halls within the uni. They're there to listen to what the students want and make the halls the place you really want to live. We've been speaking to the newly elected president of Central Village, Holly Pyrewell, to find out more. What made you want to be president of Central Village?
Well, it's something I've done before, so I did it for my school. But I like being part of a team, and if you're terrible at sport, which I am, it's really hard to do. So I like leading people and being with other people to make things better. Well, we've been given a budget for the year, so we're going to put on a lot of socials, get people out of their rooms. We're going to get people involved, use the common room because no one actually uses it at the moment. Fix things, because the lift, last night I rescued people from the lift, which was broken, and the door. So no, there's a lot of problems that just need to be fixed, really.
Does it feel good knowing that other students voted for you personally?
It does feel good, yeah, it feels nice. But I do want to prove myself, so be like, you didn't vote for some random. I will try and help everyone.
You may ask who is responsible for voting for the Hall exec. Well, that was all down to you. After a lengthy nominations and voting process, the 7 members of your Halls team were chosen based on their manifestos. Chris was the president of one of the Hall execs last year.
I think I could have done better, but overall we did a few events. We did a summer festival, which was good. Like, a lot of people got involved with that, so yeah, I think it went alright, yeah. I don't think we did have a lot of power to change things, really. It's like, it's all a democracy. Like, you can tell the union that you want to change something, but then you got to go through several voting systems, and like, you can't directly change something.
One of the roles of the Hall exec is to make sure the maintenance is kept up, including the common rooms, lifts and kitchens. Anne Hadley, the Union Affairs Officer, is in charge of training the new Hall exec.
I was on my Hall exec. They used to be called residence committees, and back in those days when I was in first year, I was on my residence committee and we didn't have any of that, and we didn't have the elections either. And I think that kind of contributed to us not having this kind of sense of obligation or sense of responsibility as a group.
We were speaking to a boy earlier who was president of the Halls last year, and he said that he didn't really feel that like the Hall exec made any impact at all. So do you believe this year that the new Hall exec will have much greater impact?
Well, first I just want to say that I feel, you know, bad that president feels that way, and part of our training really is to try and to get across the potential that the Hall exec has to make an impact on their Hall. And I think what really showed at the end of the day is when we fed back their objectives, they were talking about Christmas parties and they were talking about, you know, trips to Alton Towers, the usual stuff, but it tied into an overall vision, and it was just brilliant to see.
The Hall exec plan to hold many socials and events and do lots of improvements to help you love your time at Leeds.
A new library is going to open in 2014.
This will be mainly for undergraduate use, as Sophie reports.
The university have revealed they're building a new library, which is set to open in September 2014. The library will be situated on Woodhouse Lane, next to popular nightclub Halo. The library will have approximately 1,000 reader seats, along with recommended texts of first and second year undergraduate courses for most facilities. There will be a cafe, areas for quiet study, social learning, training, community engagement and group study. We interviewed Josh Smith, the Education Officer, for his thoughts on the topic. So who's entitled to use the library?
It's really important that it's really clear that it's not a undergraduate only library. I know Ben Jackson, who was the education officer before me, was very clear, and I hold the same position, that there shouldn't be a segregation between undergrads and postgrads.
And which new facilities do you think will benefit students the most?
The library are going to be more tailored towards undergraduate students, particularly first and second years in terms of the stock that's there, but anyone can use the facilities.
And what do you think of the library being situated next to a nightclub? Do you think this will cause any disruption during exam period?
I mean, obviously, you know, it's an issue that the planners, I'm sure, are taking a lot of care into. And from the plans that I've seen, the conversations that I've had, and there's been an awful lot of work looking at the soundproofing of certain areas, the directions, and also, I imagine there's been conversations with the nightclub as well.
I don't know, because I don't want loud music when I say I'm trying to tuck into a bit of Chaucer or something like that. But then sometimes I like a drink, so I might pop over, and it helps digest the information.
Yeah, that would be quite annoying if you were in there, and obviously Halo's still going to be like on and everything. And like Halo's biggest night is like Monday as well, which is one day that you'd work.
Oh, it might be a bit noisy sometimes, depending on obviously how long the library's open for. Because if there was to be like a 24-hour cluster in there, then the noise would obviously disturb some people from working.
And how do you think this library will differ from the others that we already have?
The new library is obviously going to be quite different. It's going to be more modern, and there's been a lot of design thought into it. I imagine it'll look quite different from the inside and outside, but at the base of it is a library with library stock, with books in it, and with space to study as well.
The Ladyboys of Bangkok are back after their popularity in Leeds last year.
I'm here in Leeds Millennium Square, outside the Ladyboys of Bangkok Arena. The Ladyboys of Bangkok return each year to entertain the people of Leeds with a different themed show. This year's theme is Carnival Queens.
If you love him or capital H-I-M.
For those of you who don't know who the Ladyboys of Bangkok are, they are a group of the world's most beautiful ladies who just happen to be men.
My mama told me when I was young.
The cast perform a variety of songs, dance and entertainment. Their new show, Carnival Queens, is set to pack more glitz, more glamour and more fabulous choreography. As well as watching an amazing performance, audience members can also order fresh Thai food and drinks from the bar.
So hold your head up, girl, and you'll go far.
The show sets to dazzle audiences from the 12th of October to the 27th, with performances every day, Monday to Thursday at 7 p.m, Friday and Saturday 7 p.m and 9 p.m, and Sunday 4:30 and 7 p.m. Student tickets cost $14.50 with a side view ticket of £10. Tickets can be purchased from the Millennium Square box office or online at QUAYtickets.com. It's an unmissable experience for our students.
Now here's Andy with this week's Tech Roundup.
Welcome to Tech. The big news this week is the launch of Microsoft's new operating system, Windows 8. It's had enough pros, cons, questions and advantages and even disadvantages. There's 3 different flavours and lots of controversy as to whether it will work or not. How will the big launch be? Well, Currys and PC World have their flagship store in London opening at midnight on Friday, which is the launch night. Next up, driving, and if anyone knows about the cost, it's us students. You've heard of the infamous black box? Well, soon you could be saving money on your car insurance just by having your smartphone in your pocket when you're driving. 2 main apps have been launched over the past few months that monitor your speed, safety and efficiency on the road. How do they work? Well, exactly the same way as the black box system, and the controversy that means is still there as well. Critics have said that the black boxes could even make students more aware and more nervous when they're driving, and could even cause more accidents. Time, of course, will tell. It's been revealed this week that millions of Android users could have their security flawed when using their devices. Various Android apps that have been tested have found that when people are using Facebook, Twitter, or even online banking, they're not scrambling their encrypted data settings correctly. That means there's a security flaw and the data could be sent unencrypted. Over 13,000 apps were tested, and of them, 8% failed to protect logins to social network services and more. Google has yet to comment on the research and its findings. That's it for the 60-second tech roundup this week. There'll be more on next week's Essential.
Weather-wise, it's been a cold week so far. Here's Ellie to tell us what's coming up for the rest of the week.
Good afternoon and welcome to the weather. It's cold, it's wet, it's miserable, and I'm afraid it's going to stay like that for the next couple of days. This afternoon, the highest temperature is going to be 10 degrees. It's also going to rain, so don't forget your raincoats. Thursday morning, it's going to be 2 degrees, very cold, going up to only 9 degrees during the afternoon. It's also going to stay very cloudy. Friday, however, the sun is going to come out, but it's only going to be 5 degrees, so it's going to be very cold. Thank you very much. That's the weather for the Essential.
Finally, it's Black History Month this month, and Ellie went into the Student Union to ask who their black hero is for this week's Essential Question.
And welcome to the Essential Question. This month's Black History Month, so we're going to ask everybody, who's your black hero? It's black... Do you speak English? Thank you. Don't know what for. You're turning heads when you... It's Black History Month. We want to know, who's your black hero?
Martin Luther King.
Why is that?
Because he's really inspirational.
Inspirational, yeah.
My black hero would probably be my mum. So,
why is that?
Because she's a legend.
Oh, that's really nice.
I'd go with your mum as well, yeah. She's a very nice lady.
Gave birth to me, didn't she?
So,
you know.
Thanks very much, guys. It's Black History Month this month. We want to know, who's your black hero?
Nelson Mandela.
What about you? It's Black History Month this month. We want to know, who's your favourite black hero?
Probably Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, why is that?
Just inspirational, I guess.
I don't know why you're being shy and turn away when I look into your eyes. Everyone else in the room can see.
It's Black History Month. We want to know, who's your black hero?
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama, yeah.
I love my word like nobody else. The way that you flip your hair gets me overwhelmed. But when you smile at the ground, it ain't.
It's Black History Month. We want to know, who's your black hero?
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, why is that?
I just think he's ace and he played God. That's really cool.
Good choice, good choice. What about yourself?
I don't have any heroes.
That's what makes you beautiful.
That's all for this week. And remember, if it's going on,
in,
or around your union, it's essential.